Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2024 Euroformula Open Championship Round 5 at Paul Ricard here in France, with the sun beaming down upon us. And we're heading into the second half of the season. Air temperatures sitting at 28 degrees, with the track temp now ramping up to 36. Humidity standing about midway, 47% at this point. But the cars now making their way out onto the track. Ravesh currently making his way around. There's Fernando Barrichello as well. Ravesh actually one of the faster drivers in free practice sessions alike, but due to transponder issues, none of the times were really able to be captured from the morning session. But Ravesh putting in a very good stint. Jakob Bergmeister back as well after recent impressive results, seeing an upturn in form. But the big news coming into the weekend is the Euroformula Open Championship car announcement for next season. We did, of course, get a press release from the championship itself declaring that the new Dallara 324 chassis will be made available for next season in 2025, embracing the new Toyota TGE33 engine. And with the new aero and safety improvements set about through this new chassis, it should see a 2-second faster lap time. The weight has gone up slightly. It will stretch to just over 500 kilograms, 509 to be precise, and that includes the 3 litres of liquids that the car takes on board. And the plan is for 10 brand new units of the Dallara 324, with then 12 upgraded Dallara 320s to correspond with the upgrade kit being developed by Dallara itself, ready for the new 2025 Euroformula Open Championship season next campaign. It packs a punch of 275 horsepower with a turbocharged 1.6 3-cylinder engine with Cosworth electronics to boot. George Morgan here, Chris Stevens alongside me. Chris, it was quite the announcement.
It certainly was, wasn't it? Really exciting to see that the 324 is going to be made available next year. There are going to be 10 new 324 available for next year. And then in addition to that, 12 of the existing 320 chassis with the upgrade package, because the chassis itself is the same. It's the bodywork that's different, and all the bits on top and a little bit underneath. But you can take the 320 and apply the upgrade package to it. And it does mean we're getting rid of the iconic side air intake, because they've got it on the top roll hoop now. So yeah, it will be a very different look to the championship for next year. And so 22 cars available. So if you are a prospective team, then you should go ahead and take a look at it, because this 320 chassis has been what's made this this Euroformula Open Championship, and I think the 324, it's got a big legacy to live up to. But I have no doubt at all that it will provide equally fantastic racing as we've seen in the Euroformula Open Championship for so many years. Right, just having a little look at qualifying. This man, Francesco Simonazzi, I do believe did not get to run at all yesterday, and had something to do with sitting an exam yesterday or late Thursday. And I don't know if the internet or the IT outages that were suffered worldwide ended up delaying him even further yesterday. But yeah, he was registered no lap times in either of the free practice sessions. So he is going into this qualifying session, I won't say completely blind, because he has obviously raced here in the past with this car, but certainly a less than ideal situation for the man who is second in the championship going into this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lesson really to kids around the world. Still, even racing drivers go to school. So there we go. It has to be said. Francesco Simonazzi, of course, has been studying in Cambridge as well in the United Kingdom. So credit for him. Clever chap, and also a very passionate racer. There is Ravesh, currently sat in the pit lane, just being looked over by the Motor Park team. I'm sure he'll be heading out once again very soon. But we've got a new name as well on the grid as well, Enzo Richet. Chris, talk us through it.
Yes, the young Frenchman, the 18-year-old who has been racing Formula Regional Machinery in the Ultimate Cup Series, the Formula Cup Championship that they have out there. And so I was actually speaking to him in Hockenheim just a couple of weeks ago, and he is here on behalf of Michael Shin in his car, who is taking a break in what otherwise would have been, I think, 11 consecutive weekends for the South Korean racer. And so it was always going to be a part-time campaign for him in the Euroformula Open Championship. So Enzo Richer, we understand, just a one-off appearance for him as it stands. But before joining the Ultimate Cup this year, he was racing in French Formula 4. And so he only recently making up the step to kind of the F3 level machinery that this championship very much operates at.
Yeah, been watching Paolo Branchnik as well on his return to the series. We haven't seen too much of him. A few, sitting a few absences on his part. Little twitch coming out of the S section through towards the Mistral. And now the Serb will make his way towards the middle of the park chicane. Francesco Simonazzi improving again on this lap. He already registered a 1:58.203. He's now gone purple again in Sector 1 and Sector 2. And the Italian stallion, as Enzo Richer, goes purple in Sector 1 this time. Obviously with the current set of affairs as far as the championship's concerned, with Simonazzi's recent decent run in form, you've got to wonder whether there might be a huge opportunity on part of Simonazzi to maybe tackle Brad Benavides for the championship lead, because looking at the points gap, it only sits at 63 points right now, Chris.
It's quite a healthy margin that Brad has, but of course we have seen in the past that it can change very quickly. Just a couple of DNFs for Brad would really turn things around in the championship, but of course Brad's been incredibly consistent so far this year. Only finished off the podium once this season. That's why he's been able to build such a healthy margin. As we see the 18-year-old Frenchman Enzo Richer making his debut, his first qualifying appearance in the Euroformula Open Championship. And naturally, as you do with any new driver who comes to the series, you say, how did you find the car? And of course, they don't shut up.
It's almost the question we ask every time when we get a new driver, and the answer is always the same. You love the car. That pretty much is it. Enzo Richer now going second fastest. The Frenchman, home race, of course, this weekend at Paul Ricard, and goes just into second, just behind Simonazzi. The gap now sitting just under 1.2 seconds. So Simonazzi registering a decent lot, already going purple again in that middle sector, and currently only 2 cars out on track, Simonazzi being one of them, and Enzo Richer as well. Big opportunity for Simonazzi, I sense, this weekend, Chris.
Yep, could well be. I mean, like we say, he is going into this weekend on the back foot because even Benavides was fastest in the free practice sessions, 57.380. Just for reference, we've already gone faster than that. And normally you would be carrying over sets of tyres, but there were actually a few sets left over because we've had so much wet running lately in Hungary and Spa. They actually had quite a few new sets of dry tyres to be able to use in free practice, as Simonazzi lowers the benchmark even further, 56.725 now that we're on. Enzo Richer, the only other driver to set a representative time at the moment, 1.4 seconds back. And now the reason we're not seeing so many lap times is because drivers really only want to use one set of tyres in this qualifying session, as Simonazzi has a big swapper coming through the hotel chicane. And that's not just Simonazzi's flamboyant driving style, that's him getting to grips with the track, because these are his first laps of the weekend. So heading on to the Mistral now. And we will be using the chicane, so he will flick left, right, and left in the middle of this chicane. It's not completely smooth straight, is it? There's a little bit of bouncing there, but and you see they use a lot less curb than their GT counterparts that are here this weekend, don't they, at that chicane? But yes, in terms of the tyres, they only have 4 sets to use throughout the weekend from qualifying onwards, and it seems like the priority at the moment is to have new sets of tyres for all the races, because if you did 2 runs in qualifying, you'd use up 2 sets of tyres, and that you'd have to run a mixed set or a completely old set at some point in the weekend in the races. It seems like the priority at the moment is to have the new tyres for the races, and so that's why we're not seeing too many drivers going out there and just pounding around at the moment. The reason Simonazzi and Enzo Richer is, well, Enzo's never raced in this championship before, and Simonazzi, these are his first laps of the weekend, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, we'd expect Simonazzi to put in quite a healthy amount of time out onto the track here through the course of this session, just to at least find his bearings. But I'd argue that he's done remarkably well already. 156 on that last lap, 7:59. Certainly not anywhere near faster where he was before, but certainly looking impressive. At least for now. One of the matters that obviously might lead into that big question mark around tyres and tyre usage as such. Degradation has been reported as very high here at this circuit, just not even just due to the style of track that it actually is, but you couple that with the intense heat that we have had as well, Chris. It really does chew away at that rubber.
I was even feeling a little lightheaded yesterday. It was so hot and so humid as well, which is quite surprising. And there's a threat of rain for tomorrow, and you can almost feel it bubbling up already as Enzo Richet comes around to complete another lap here. This is looking like quite a marked improvement. He's only 3/10 down in the middle sector, although he did have some traffic there towards the end of the lap. So we'll see if that's compromised him a bit. Yeah, still 1.1 down by the time they get to the timing line. But yes, the tyre wear and the heat. It's going to be so hot inside those cars. We're already at an ambient temperature of 29 degrees, and it's just coming up to 10 o'clock local time. Track temperature is already at 37 degrees. I imagine by the time we go racing a little bit later, it'll be well into the 50s. And there are so many high lateral load corners around here. And in fact, Jakob Bergmeister, they're just coming through one of them, but there are so many long corners that just put continual load through the tyre and just chew them to bits.
Yeah, there is our German shifty kart champion there as well. Jakob Bergmeister's stretch in the championship so far has actually been remarkable. He's been on an upward turn and has since been working hard to register some improved performances. Hockenheimring, he was brilliant, obviously registering his first podiums of the season, then following that up as well with 2 podiums again at Spa, where he would go second in race 1 and second in race 2, and then managed to capture another second place at Hungaroring. Still not out of the question where it comes to the overall championship, because he's 98 points away from Brad Benavides, but Benavides would have to have a pretty much, well, horror show, I think, one weekend for that to go belly up as such.
Still hunting for that first win is Jakob Bergmeister.
He's been close.
He has been close. Actually, I need to check. Did he have any wins in F4 UAE? I don't believe he did he? So if he were to win this weekend, for example, it would be his first single-seater victory. I'll have to double-check that before race number 1, but I don't believe he got wins in F4 UAE, because he went from the shifter karts to F4 UAE at the start of last year, and then straight into the Euroformula Open Championship. So it's been a very rapid rise for young Jakob. And that is a brand spanking new set of Pirelli tyres for Francesco Simonazzi on the BVM racing car. So they are having to sacrifice a little bit of race performance here to get Simonazzi up to speed by the looks of it.
Basically free practice and qualifying rolled into one almost.
Seems like it, yeah.
As part of a session. But hopefully that will go in Simonazzi's favour. Still holds the top time at the moment with Enzo Richet down in second place. Jakob Bergmeister popped himself up to third fastest as well. Has just gone green again in Sector 1 as we watch Levente Ravesh power on through the slalom as such. He'll now venture into Sector 2 out of Sector 1 as he now rounds out of Camp Corner through to Santa Barm, and then down the straight at the Mistral, where he'll open up the throttle no less and then send it in towards the chicane halfway through. I would say the Hungarian is hungry for race wins alike as well here, Chris.
Yes, he is quite. He has had a couple of them in the Euroformula Open Championship, or one exactly to be precise. The Barcelona finale last year, race number 2 for the Hungarian. It's Fernando Barrichello goes fastest in the first sector. So what has young FIFO got up his sleeve there? Although Benavides has taken it back in the first sector, actually. He's gone slightly faster than the Brazilian as we watch Lavesh through. And we were talking about high speed, high lateral load corners. Le Bousset right there. That is a real killer on the left-hand side tyres. And this one will equally do it in on the right side as well. We've got so much braking and turning at the same time. And now is Ravesh going to gather up this slow car here. I'm told that some of these drivers might be hunting for a slipstream during this qualifying session. I'm told the sweet spot is around 2.5 seconds at the start of the lap. Because it can be worth quite a significant margin. But Ravesh there goes third fastest, and Barrichello to the top of the times with a 1:56.664, and it's only 61 thousandths of a second quicker than Francesco Simonazzi at the moment. Let's see what Benavides does. He goes to the top of the times now, 56.123, so half a second clear now of his Motorpark teammate.
Hold the phone though, because Bergmeister's just snatched the purple first sector away this time with a 31.651. So it's not over yet. Still plenty of time left. 4 minutes to go. Benavides at the top with a 1:56.123. Barrichello with a brilliant time in his own account, and obviously Father Rubens is here this weekend too. Francesco Simonazzi, we haven't yet seen him apply, should we say, an optimal time on his new set of tyres just yet. He's only just recently put on a brand new fresh compound, but we've now got Brad Benavides going purple now immediately in Sector 1. Bergmeister purple in Sector 2.
And Benavides here is getting a great tow off of Enzo Richer, the rookie. But will he be too close to him in the third sector, though? Oh, he's going to get caught up in the chicane here. And Benavides, who was a 10.5 up on his benchmark time, that might well have just compromised him. And he is not happy with young Enzo at all there.
No, you just saw the hand was raised out to the cockpit. Brad Benavides did not appreciate it one iota at all, but was showing impressive speed, was looking for the slipstream heading down the Mistral, and has unfortunately paid the price. Gives an opportunity, though, to Jakob Bergmeister, who was purple in the first two sectors. He's purple again and has gone fastest here in this session with a 1:56.100. That's 23 thousandths faster than Brad Benavides. Oh, what it would mean to young Jakob Bergmeister to go pole here at Paul Ricard.
That would be sensational. It was a bit of a breakout race for him last year, wasn't it, when he scored his first podium? But this is Brad Benavides and Enzo Richer not exactly giving a happy 23rd birthday present to Brad Benavides there. It is his birthday today for the Floridian. But that was not a welcome gift at the Mistral chicane. 2.5 minutes left on the clock, and Benavides goes for another run.
Yeah, I think Enzo Richer left a brown bag on his doorstep, I think. But Jakob Bergmeister with yet another purple first sector already, and we've only got 2 minutes and 10 to go. So a big opportunity for the German shifter car champion to now move up and potentially take a sensational pole here in this qualifying session. Brad Benavides also looking for a little bit more here in the opening stages of this lap. Has automatically found, again, 1.5 tenths, so almost matching what he did in the previous session. Does mean, of course, that Jakob Bergmeister's forfeited that fastest first sector, but he is fastest in the second so far, holds the fastest time so far. If he can bring it home again, he will, of course, improve on his current run. Could we see him dip into the 1:55s as he now makes his way through the next left? Of course, we've got quite a few intense corners here, no doubt applying plenty of heat to that rubber, shredding it no less. They need to make sure that it can maintain at least an optimal level of speed, even with the tyres degrading as they do. But coming through Pont Corner now, let's see what Bergmeister can do. He's forfeited the pace in that second sector split again, with Benavides going even quicker. Bergmeister coming up towards the line. Can the German take it? Certainly will. Whoa. Fabulous improvement there from Jakob Bergmeister, and we are indeed into the 1:55s, Chris.
Yeah, 55.903. Jakob Bergmeister going for his first Euroformula pole position. Brad Benavides going for his second. And Benavides was faster in the middle sector by a couple of tenths of a second. So let's see if he can bring it across the line with that same level of speed as well. Out of Virage Dupont now, and Brad Benavides, the birthday boy, drives it up towards the timing line as Barrichello goes fourth fastest. But here comes Benavides, the championship leader, and he does go top by a tenth of a second in the end. just ahead of Bergmeister. That was a good little scrap between the pair of them there. But look at this man suddenly going fastest.
Francesco Simonazzi with 20 seconds to go. What a timely manner this would be to lay claim to pole position. Remember, Brad Benavides, championship leader. Simonazzi second in the championship. He's lost time, though, in that second sector in comparison to Benavides. Still, though, an improvement. He goes green, but needs to find a lot more in the third sector. Remember, has a fresh set of tyres on. Checkered flag comes down here this time. He's registered a 36.229 in sector 2 and now needs to worm his way around the final sector this time around to register a faster lap. Let's see what he can achieve here. He's got Garlaban corner coming out of Tor now very shortly, and then a trip through the Pont, the hairpin, where you'll need to slam your foot back down onto the throttle again to find any sort of momentum and pace to tee up maybe a fastest lap here at the very late stage in qualifying with the checkered flag already waved. Here comes the Italian stallion, Francesco Simonazzi. Can he dig deep for a big final sector? Not quite. Topples Levente Ravesh, takes third place. Barrichello down to fifth.
Yep, so that'll be third row of the grid now for Barrichello. Francesco Simonazzi up on the second row of the grid, and Enzo Richer gathering the reverse grid pole for race number 3, which is the one based on the qualifying result. But Brad Benavides, his second pole position of the season. For a moment, it looked like we might have a fourth different pole sitter of the year. But that wasn't to be in the end. But Benavides is still pushing out there, but not an improvement. Well, actually, he did improve in that last sector. Just there.
In the last sector.
And he lowered the benchmark even further, 55.698. We didn't see it unfolding. It wasn't an improvement in either the first or second sector, but suddenly blitzed the end of the lap and pulled an extra 10th out of his pocket.
Incredible effort. Brad Benavides back at the top again. His championship leader looking to stretch the points gap between he and Francesco Simonazzi, and the one advantage he will have is, of course, Simonazzi is now he's got a car between him. He's on the second row ahead of the race coming up later on this afternoon, but you never know. When we go into reverse grid action later into the weekend on Sunday, we could yet see a twist, but the Floridian is on top. Pole position for Brad Benavides, a 155.698, with Jakob Bergmeister mightily impressive, 155.903. Francesco Simonazzi third for BVM. Levente Ravesh in fourth, with Fernando Barrichello in fifth. Enzo Richer in his first weekend in sixth, with Paolo Brajnik in seventh place. So there we have it. Fabulous display there on part of Brad Benavides. He'll then make his way into the pit lane. The Floridian, obviously, no doubt, delighted with the performance he's managed to unlock. There's Enzo Richer, first weekend. No doubt we'll look to set the base here this time around. Obviously, as racing is carried out, I mean, we do have the reverse quali race coming up, so Richer might have a chance later into the weekend.
Yeah, of course, we'll be starting on pole for race 3. So, be big pressure for young Enzo starting up at the front for what will only be his third ever start. But a good effort there from Enzo Richer in his debut in the championship. So Benavides makes his way back into pit lane. And then we see confirmation 55.698. So that last lap really did just come out of nowhere, didn't it? Right at the end there. Just pulled an extra 10th out in that last sector. Oh, there you can see the temperature, 31.3 degrees, and it's only just gone past 10 o'clock local time. It's going to be a very, very hot race tomorrow.
It's only going to go up, Chris.
Or this afternoon, sorry.
Yeah, it's only going to go up. Jakob Bergmeister hopping out of the car, and I think he can take solace in knowing that he was in position for a potential pole position. Obviously, with Benavides, his time might have come a little sooner. Of course, we saw that moment he had with Enzo Richer earlier on. Obviously, wasn't very happy with that exchange, but has managed to cultivate a tremendous pole position again this time, which, again, another advantage into potentially securing the championship this season. course, needs to wait a little bit before he can be crowned a champion. Of course, Simonazzi still has a great opportunity, but Brad Benavides, with obviously his repertoire that he has behind him, is represented in many different corners of the single-seater motorsport world. Of course, competed at the heights of Formula 2 and also Formula 3. He competed in the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship in 2023 as well. Of course, Formula Regional European Championship in 2021, coupled with a Euroformula Open Championship run that year, and also back in 2018. He has done certainly plenty. Let's take you through, though, the top three. Francesco Simonazzi managed to achieve a third fastest time with a 1:56.001. Jakob Bergmeister going second fastest for Team Motor Parker, 1:55.903. His time, though, however, will be 2/10 behind this man, Brad Benavides, who starts on pole for the race this afternoon, and he's standing by with Alfredo Filipponi.
Brad Benavides, it was a very last-minute pole position.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still grateful to be able to claim it as it's my birthday, and yeah, hopefully, cheers.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. And yeah, it's only my second pole position of the championship so far, and so yeah, I need to be grateful for the moment, even though I'm obviously not fully happy on my performance and my run now on Qualy. Especially, it was quite hectic because I got held up by traffic and we're 6 drivers, and it's one of my teammates. So I just need to look into that. I need to understand why he just didn't see me, but because that would have been a really good lap. But regardless, it's still pole position, and I need to be happy for what it is. So I am.
So you are. It's already very hot, and it's going to be hotter later today.
Yeah, it's already like 28 degrees air temperature, so it's really hot. Especially the track gets extremely warm. Yesterday was like 55 Celsius, so you could boil an egg at that temperature with the track temp. So yeah, it's only going to get worse than it is now, but yeah, we're ready. We're physically prepared for it.
Good, well done. And the drinks will be for tonight for Feliz cumpleaños.
Just water. Cheers.
Fried or scrambled, it's well done for Brad Benavides. We'll see how he gets on this afternoon. Join us for the race. We'll see you then. Goodbye.